Hi, my friend. Today I want to talk to you about how you can use an ideal reader to help you actually get your book all the way to the finish line completed. And so that you know when it gets there, it has a very specific tailored audience. I have been a book editor for 20 years. I've worked at some of the biggest publishing companies in the United States, and I've gathered a ton of information that I share with you on this beautiful YouTube channel. I hope you'll subscribe so you don't miss any information, because I am here to help you get the book you were born to write into the world. All right, so what do I mean when I talk about an ideal reader? The ideal reader is your vision of who will pick up the book at the end and get the most benefit out of it. So this could be somebody who is a reader of some sort of fiction that you're writing. Maybe you're writing romance, maybe you're writing literary fiction or science fiction. You can imagine the type of reader who would want to pick that up. I am not, for example, a science fiction reader. I am a literary fiction reader. So I might be your ideal client if you want to write the great American novel. If you are wanting to write the next Game of Thrones, I'm probably not the ideal reader for you, but you probably know who is. Okay, so the thing that I love about picking an ideal reader is that it helps you to narrowly tailor some of your decision making. You could make a million different decisions in writing a book. There are so many different directions you might go, ways you might develop a character, etc. And the fact is that you're going to need some sort of a filter to hold those decisions up against as you're making your choices, so that you know that you're going to be landing with that reader at the end, right? So my first step in picking an ideal reader is to choose someone you already know and love, an actual human being in your world who you know and love. You know, I work with a lot of authors on transformational nonfiction. These are books that are meant to help people learn, change, and grow. This tends to be a pretty easy thing for people to do when they're writing that kind of book. Who is the person that would benefit in your life? Someone in your life. They might be a family member, they might be a colleague, they might be a client, somebody you know who would really benefit from reading your book. It might be a friend of yours. Maybe you have a protocol for helping to, heal different diseases through food. And you might have a friend who's really struggling with some sort of a disease that you would love to be able to educate on what you know about healing foods. So you might choose that person as your ideal reader. When I was writing the book you were born to write, which is sitting back there, my own book, I chose a friend of mine who has amazing, amazing gifts to give the world, but hadn't yet written a book. And in the book, I call him Maggie. His real name is Rob. It was so helpful. I asked myself from the beginning, and this is actually step 2 of the process. Number 1 is to pick the person. Number 2 is to ask yourself, what is the first thing this person would need to know? Or what would be an exciting opening scene that would really capture this person's attention? You're thinking about that reader the whole way through. As you're plotting the book out, as you're creating your outline for the book, you're thinking, what will this reader want to read next? And what do they need to know in order to get the benefit of this book at the end, right? And you do that for step 1, and then you move on to what would they need to know next? After they know that piece, what is the next thing they need to know? You might have 2 things. Well, next it could be these. Oh, but actually, this is the right order. Okay, so you might know what I'm doing here. I am mapping out the chapters of the book. First thing they need to know, chapter 1. Second thing they need to know, chapter 2. Third thing they need to know, chapter 3, and so on. This becomes a very, very easy way to do something that can be very hard for aspiring authors, which is to create a basic outline for the book. You just ask yourself, what does this person need to know first? And that becomes chapter 1, and so on, all the way till the end of the process. Okay, and the third step is to design the writing of the book as if you were talking to that person. This is for nonfiction. Fiction's a little different. For nonfiction, as if you were talking to that person in a room. Let's say you had them captured for a week and you wanted to teach them everything you know about that topic of expertise that you have. How would you teach it to them? What would you say? So you know what the first topic is, the first thing they need to learn, but how would I express that? And then talk on the page. As you write, imagine yourself simply talking to this person who you already know and love and are sure will get a lot out of your book. It changes the game. You're no longer trying to speak to this massive audience. You're no longer, afraid of how big this thing might be. It really comes down to just having a conversation with this one person who you love. That love is especially important. Emotion is what keeps us going on any big journey, especially the book journey. The passion you have for helping or entertaining this particular person is a wonderful wellspring of energy and a reminder to get back to that seat at your computer and write every day or multiple days a week at least on that journey toward getting that book into the world. All right, I hope this has been helpful in helping you understand what I mean when I say choose an ideal reader. Remember, choose someone you already know and that you love. Ask yourself what they need to know first, second, third, and then write it as if they're sitting in a room with you and you're telling them the information. If you need any more help on your book journey, we are here for you. knliterary.com/schedule. Sign up for a free, totally no obligation call with one of our lifelong editors. They would love to help you understand what your next best step will be on the book journey. I, in the meantime, really love the opportunity to talk to you on this channel. If you haven't subscribed, I hope you will. Come back, get the information, because I want to see the book you were born to write on the shelf. In the meantime, happy writing.